Hey everybody, welcome to the Good Morning from the Chicken Coop podcast. My name is Kim Johnson and I am a master mindset coach, creative strategist, and also happen to be a farmer. This is my chicken coop and I come out here every day to record a podcast, to teach distinctions, possibilities, new ways of thinking, and just bring some joy into the world. So welcome to the coop and let's start your day off in a fantastic way. Hey everybody, good morning. Question of the day is, should you open your mouth in situations that involve people who have a lot of control over you? Now, this question came up yesterday during a coaching session, and I am a firm believer that you have to decide these things case by case, and I ran through it with my client, and I gave them all the risks that I could come up with while we were in our session. And it was decided that it's better to be quiet and not say anything, because this is something about opening your mouth when you know that this person has control over your job. So in other words, you're in a big position in a big company, and this person can make or break you, can say, yes, you can continue to work here, or no, you're out the door. And I think it's very important to understand that just because you're emotional about something, you can't care more than the people in charge. And the person in charge, in this case, owned the company. And when you go in and you say something that is in direct conflict to what this person believes, you have to either know how to frame it the right way, or you have to be quiet and not say anything, because that person can take away your job. And I think I've seen this before many times. In fact, in the last 18 months, I've had two people, one left on their own from a company, and the other one was let go out of nowhere, just called in and said, you're out. And the reason that happened was because that person chose to say something and caused a ripple effect. And that ripple effect was an insult to the person who was the owner of the company. And this often happens because we get emotionally charged with things. And I am a big believer that if you work for someone, if you are brought into a role, it's their company. They have brought things up. They have brought it from the ground up. It's like they built this company and you're brought into it. You must realize there's an emotional attachment to it. Now, in corporate America, it's a little different because most of the time the founder of the company is way up. Like Jeff Bezos is way up in Amazon, and most people are not even that work in Amazon, even if they're very high up, are not touching elbows with him, so to speak. But in these cases where we're in the middle companies or the smaller companies, we can pretty much guarantee that you're rubbing elbows with people that are much lower, or the owners of the companies themselves. And that's where you have to know they are emotionally attached to what's going on and their own outcomes. And this is an important distinction, because in recognizing that they're emotionally attached, they're going to have a response. And that response is probably going to feel offended, because guess what? They did this, they created this, and you're talking to them about something that might be wrong or something that you don't like. In which case, you can offend somebody very quickly, very, very quickly. So I think it's worth our while to remember that when we're going to say something, we have to run through all of the scenarios that we can come up with that show whether or not this person could be upset enough to just decide to get rid of us and just annihilate how we essentially feel. And I do believe, without question, that running through as many scenarios as you can possibly find is the key. It is the key to the whole thing, because I think that what ends up happening is we think we're helping by sharing. We think we're actually helping. We're like, oh, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to share and I'm going to tell them so they understand what's happening. And my belief is they do know what's happening, but they don't want to face it. And unless you have the words that can help them understand things, you just walking in and saying, this isn't going to work, I don't like it, blah, 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 you're going to have a massive reaction and pushback. And if they are already insulted, you're walking into something that the person just can't hear. So remember the phrase, you can't care more than the person in charge. And if the person in charge doesn't care, well, enough to hear you, a lot of people do not like to get critical feedback. They just don't like to get critical feedback. They have a problem with it. So I just say, hey, if you know this person can't hear something, then don't tell them, because the reality is that they're not going to take it anyway. And you have to set it up inside of yourself to say, I can't care more than that person, so I'm going to work to the level they want me to work. And then you can assimilate if you should stay or not. You can assimilate that information into your head and say, okay, should I stay or not? Should I go? Should I start looking for something else? And try to work through it a different way, because otherwise you might just surprisingly just get put out right on your butt and not even realize how detrimental it was to them to hear that until it's too late. All right, my friends, I hope you have a blessed day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.